All right, this last problem in section 8.2 talks about a cab ride. And, I know most of us would probably use Lyft or Uber at this time, but there's cabs still. And one way that cabs calculate is sometimes they will calculate a base rate per person in the cab, and then they'll calculate off of mileage, and sometimes they're just off of mileage. And so there's different ways it's calculated, but this application problem says that a cab charges $9 per person and then 50 cents per mile for the cab ride. So the first part of this problem says to write an equation that would represent this. Okay, so we know that the cost is and it's for a one person cab ride. So we know that the cost or the fare, okay, the fare is going to be I think fare is spelled this way. The fare is going to be equal to, no matter what, $9 has to be paid. And I'd like to put that kind of back at the back of the problem here. So we have, it's going to be equal to $9 no matter what. But then we also have 50 cents per mile, okay? So we're going to have to add those together. So we're going to clean this up and make it look like a linear equation. And some of you might remember slope-intercept form, but we can write y is equal to 0.5x, where x is our miles, and then our base fee of 9. And that's our linear equation that represents the cost of the cab ride. Okay. So then it says, okay, let's come up with two different rates here, or two different fares for a ride. And one way we could think about this, and it's kind of silly, but we could say, what happens if a person takes the cab for 0 miles? Okay. And if we put 0 in here, we end up getting just the base rate of $9. Okay. So that point would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, somewhere right about there, if I count like that. So then we could say, well, what happens if the person takes the cab for 5 miles? Well, if the person would take the cab for 5 miles, 5 times 0.5 is $2.50. So we'd have $11.50. So at 5, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it's going to be about up here, because that's 9, 10, 11. So right about in here. Okay. And then what we do is, let me grab my yardstick here. We draw a line through here. Okay. And that would be the linear equation that would represent the cost of a one-person cab ride. Now on the worksheet, I talk about that, this part of the graph doesn't really make sense. Okay. Because if you think about we really can't take this is miles here. We really can't take the cab for negative miles. So this part of the graph wouldn't exist, and we probably couldn't even take the cab for 0 miles. But well, that wraps up 8.2. Hopefully you found these helpful. Thank you.